Hi. Today is Wednesday, November 27th. This is the day before Thanksgiving, and I'm actually preparing my sweet potato pies. Actually, I'm fixing one for myself, one for my mother. Um, this recipe calls for two baked sweet potatoes per pie. What you do, you prick them with a fork, you place them in aluminum foil, and you bake them in the oven on 425 for 45 minutes or until they are done. And you will know that they're done because they're you can stick your fork to them. They're tender, and they're going to also have some liquor um, running from them, and it's real sweet. This is the best recipe for sweet potato pie that I have found. Previously I used to just boil the sweet potatoes, but you're actually boiling a lot of the flavor out. So I'm going to go ahead and bake these 425, 45 minutes, and I'll come back and show you my recipe and the finished product. Don't you just love this time of year? Okay, I'm back with the sweet potato pies. The sweet potatoes have baked, and I mashed them. I used four sweet potatoes. I'm making two pies, so I added 2 and 2/3 cups of granulated sugar, 2 sticks, which is a half a pound of butter, and I'm going to put half a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and a half a teaspoon of pumpkin spice. I used a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I'm using a cup of condensed milk. With this recipe, you don't have to use any other type of milk. You use this condensed milk, and it makes it very creamy. Now, depending on how sweet your sweet potatoes are, once you complete this filling for your sweet potato pie, you want to check it for the sweetness. Also, in my fresh sweet potato pies, I add just a pinch of salt. Just a pinch, not an eighth of a teaspoon, just a pinch of salt. And that's to me, it just cuts down on that. Sometimes it's like a raw taste. But anytime I use anything fresh, any kind of fresh, I put just a little pinch of salt. But I'm going to taste this first because I use salted butter, so I may not need it. I'm going to taste it first, after I combined everything. Combine everything. Now, also in this recipe, I need 3 eggs per pie. I doubled this recipe because I'm making two pies, and I'm going to use six eggs. Hold on a moment, let me add those eggs. Okay, I mixed all my ingredients together, and I tasted it. I won't have to add that salt, and I guess the reason is because I use salted butter. Now, one thing I want to tell you is I only use 4 eggs, and I remember the recipe calls for 3 eggs. I only use two because to me, when you put all those eggs, it takes away from the creaminess of the pie. I don't like it really stiff, like tough. So when you put 2 eggs per pie, it's actually what it's going to do is going to cause this to form. You see how it is, how the texture of it is when it cooks. It's going to cause it to form. Now, this is actually, I'm telling you, bake your sweet potatoes instead of boiling them. I guess you can use whatever recipe you have, but don't boil your sweet potatoes anymore for your pie. Just don't boil them, bake them. I'm telling you, it makes a wonderful pie. That sweet potato taste is more prevalent in that pie because when you're boiling the potatoes, you're actually boiling some of the flavoring out. But this is an excellent recipe I stumbled upon. Of course, I tweaked it a little bit. I don't use ground cloves. I use the pumpkin pie spice. It just gives it a little extra kick to me. And the evaporated milk, I'm telling you, instead of the regular milk, it makes this a very wonderful, flavorful pie. Now, sometimes if you get sweet potatoes or yams that are very sweet, you may have to cut down on the amount of condensed milk you use. But, again, that's tasting and knowing what you like. So that just comes with your own preference. But this pie is wonderful. Now all I have to do is, what I'm going to do now is take this and look at the creaminess of it. Can you see that? Look how creamy it is. And you don't see any strings. And the reason there are no strings in the pie is because when you take those sweet potatoes out when you peel them, and then you peel the outer layer off, and then you just have the meat of the potato left, you take and you cross it across like an X's, That's how I do mine. And X's, and that keeps it from being the mixture from being so stringy. Because if you ever had a stringy sweet potato pie, I just don't like them. And this is a very economical pie. I got the pie crust for maybe like $3 for two. And then I got the sweet potatoes like 25 cents a pound at Walmart. So I mean, a lot of people go and buy their pies. You may pay what $6 or $7 for one pie. You don't know how long it's been baked. Try making your pies from scratch. I'm telling you, they're very good, and it doesn't take very long. What I do is I do all of my baking before I actually start, baking like my meats and my sides. But actually, I prepare my sides. But we'll discuss that later. But I just want to tell you about this pie. It is a wonderful recipe. I'm telling you, very good. If you're gonna do one pie, you do two baked sweet potatoes, and I'll actually put the recipe in the description box for you. Try it, you love it, and I'll come back with the finished product. Okay, here's the pie added to the filling added to the pie. Take this and bake it at 375 for 50 minutes, and you'll have it will be completed. And I'm gonna come back and show you what the finished pie looks like. Hope you enjoy. Okay, here's the pie added to the filling added to the pie. Take this and bake it at 375 for 50 minutes, and you'll have it will be completed. And I'm gonna come back and show you what the finished pie looks like. Hope you enjoy. Okay, here are the two completed sweet potato pies. Just see what it looks like from the side. Okay.